So I wanted to talk to the fire marshal a little bit now that we're done talking about the coat and protective equipment. This time of year, people clean up their backyard, trim trees, cut their old dead flowers from the winter, and get ready to basically welcome spring and summer in Michigan. A lot of times people will put together a pile of trash or refuse, what they've raked up, and want to burn it. That's not something we allow in Novi, but I've got the fire marshal here to explain how our ordinance works and what can and can't be burned. So Mike, if you could just talk a little bit about some of this refuse type fires that we occasionally get calls on, and we have to go out and look at it and see what's going on and determine if it is or is not a legal fire.
Certainly,
Mike?
Chief. Well, every year, especially in the springtime, as you said, people are cleaning up the yards. They have the yard waste left over. They've got twigs, they've got leaves, they've got dead grass, and they're raking it up, and they don't know what to do with it. And every year we go on dozens of calls of what's called illegal burning, where people are burning this refuge, yard waste. Mm-hmm. And it's actually, it's not only is it against the Novi ordinance, it also is against the state law as well. And so what I wanted to do today is I wanted to talk to our listeners about what is legal burning and what is illegal burning. And we'll talk about the difference between the two and what you can burn, what you cannot burn. And also want to go into some barbecue safety as well. As season's upon us, we're right before Memorial Day as we're airing this, and people are going to be barbecuing. And every year as well, we run into problems with barbecue grills, both charcoal grills and LPG grills, and we run into problems with those. So we'll talk about some safety with some barbecue grills as well.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So what does our ordinance say about an illegal burn?
An illegal burn, burning is prohibited if you're going to burn for waste disposal purposes. And that would be yard waste, leaves,
okay,
twigs,
so leaves,
and grass.
branches, grass.
And also, in addition to that too, is any type of trash. We've been on people burning just garbage bags of trash. Okay. And so any type of burning where you're trying to dispose of something that you don't want, that's illegal. Construction materials, 2x4s, shingles. If you're doing some work around your house, building a shed, and you got extra construction material left over, you can't burn any of those things. Okay. That's against both state law and local ordinance as well. Okay. To burn it. So any burning where you're trying to get rid of something, that's a no-no. You can't do it. In addition to that too is for the legal fires that we're going to talk about here in a minute, even if it's a legal fire by ordinance, but somebody calls and complains about it, the fire has to go out. It's considered to be a nuisance fire at that point.
So even if they have followed all the rules, they've got their hose there and it's the right size, it's the right distance away from buildings, even if they followed all that and someone complains that the smell is bothering them or the smoke is bothering them, and they call us, we could go out and tell that homeowner they're going to have to extinguish that fire.
Yep, that fire is supposed to go out. It's called a nuisance fire, and the best thing I can recommend to you is watch the wind, watch when you are burning seasoned dried firewood, watch the smoke, the direction of the smoke. If it's going toward your neighbors, put the fire out, don't do it. Talk to your neighbors also and see if your neighbors object to you having a legal fire, a recreational fire, in your backyard or where you're going to have it, and see if there's any objection to that. All right.
Okay, so common courtesy is the prevailing thing here.
Absolutely.
Take your neighbors into consideration. Ask them if you think it might be bothering them. But if the wind's blowing right in their side window, you know, that's a time maybe not to have that
put the fire out.
Completely legal looking burn.
Right.
But it's something that we may have to put out if someone calls us and
right.
mentions it.
Yeah, and we go on dozens of calls like that every year, and sometimes we end up getting in the middle of a neighbor dispute as well. And that puts the fire department in a bad spot, and that's not what we're there for. We're there for public safety and also ordinance enforcement as well. But we don't want to be getting in the middle of a neighbor dispute. So be courteous towards your neighbors, even if it's a legal fire. Talk to your neighbors ahead of time. Make sure there's no objection. And like I said, even though it might be a legal fire, if somebody's complaining about it, the fire has to be put out.
I know there's been times where I felt like I should have a black and white striped shirt on like a referee because two neighbors are going at it and they're fighting over some type of fire going on. So that's not what we want to do, but sometimes we have to because that is part of the job. We'll be back in a few minutes and we'll talk about some of the legal ways to burn using a barbecue and various other things that are part of a Michigan summer. See you in a few.